Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Vulkan, and today we're talking about one of my favorite XP farming routes in the game. This route is going to give you approximately 175,000 experience in about 20 to 25 minutes. Now, obviously, your mileage may vary. You might get less than that at around 125,000. You might get more than that, upwards of 200,000. It kind of depends on spawns for chests, as well as whether or not you decide to clear out some of the elite enemies that we're going to have on this path. So why are we doing this, right? Because we're entering the doldrums of leveling. So right now there is no new main story missions coming out because we've completed all of those. So we're having to rely on the old experience sources, and that's kind of a problem because the old sources aren't providing as much oomph as they used to. Bounties are a good example. Bounties used to provide 250,000 experience, which was great because it could give you the majority of a level. But now, with our levels costing roughly 1 million, we're looking at a lot more experience and bounties not providing a ton in terms of progression. So what we need to do is, like I said, rely on some of those old sources. We have things like ruins, we have obviously enemies, and then we have things like this, where we have chest farming routes. So I'm going to get to it. We're going to go through this really quickly. This is one of my favorite farming routes, and I'll show you guys where it is. So it's actually back in Astra. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow these hog heads here, right? These boar heads. We're going to go down here. We want to clear everything in this area. We want to run through these two camps here. We want to kind of skirt around up here. We typically see a lot more chests up on the cliffs rather than through this little chasm here. We want to head towards this boar head. And then here's kind of dealer's choice. If you see some chests down here, then you can loop around this way. If you see some chests over here, then you can loop around this way. I mostly see them this way, so we'll probably end up going that direction. We're going to loop around, then we're going to clear out this boar head here. We're going to jump up onto these cliffs here, and we're going to start heading our way around to the rusty belt, and then down towards this boar head, and we're going to clear these three camps. Then we're going to go to the Omnium Tower, and again we're going to clear out around this head and then circle back around. So you can see we kind of have this big loop here that we're going to be doing. And like I said, this thing, I mean, 175,000 in 24 minutes. I'm not going to do a 24-minute long video, but I'll provide the map for you guys. That way you guys can check it out for yourself. So I start at the Mega Arena, and then the first thing we want to do is we want to head up towards the Rat's Den for Squeaky. Now, here's the deal. So you want to clear out enemies, but you also want to get those chests, right? So let's go ahead and pop up here and grab this one. Now, the big enemies, so we have like the big Morgly looking guy, who's the commander, big fat dude down there. He's going to give you a decent chunk of experience. Obviously, the mech guy up there, Squeaky, is going to give you a decent chunk of experience as well. So these are all things that you want to clear out, right? Don't sleep on enemies, especially the big elite enemies, because while they don't give you a ton of experience, they give you about half of what you'd get from a chest, which is, you know, 1,400, 1,300 experience. So you can see here, he gave me 700. And then these guys, these elites, they give you 350, which again is good. You want to make sure to get those. Now, sometimes you'll get a purple chest, a couple blue chests. You'll get quite a few things on these at this camp here. But other times you might not get too much. So anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll clear this guy out. Now, what you want to do is you want to kind of start to figure out which enemies give you a decent chunk of experience, because that's going to be sort of how you're going to figure out your priority on which ones you want to kill and which ones you want to skip. So for instance, like I said, those big elites, those ones you definitely want to take out because they're going to give you more experience than the little guys. Just your standard kind of enemies like that guy there, they're going to give you 175, whereas the elites are going to give you those 350s. So, all right, let's get rid of this fire, and we got our purple chest here. Make sure to force decipher because you don't want to burn these password chips, especially ahead of 2.0 launch. So always force decipher. You can see that chest gave me 2713. Okay, so we cleared this one out. So now we want to go up and head towards this camp here. And feel free to drop those pins just like I've been doing. It actually makes it a lot easier. You don't have to open the map and try to find where you are and all of that. You can just look and go, okay, what's the closest pin and how do I get there? Now here, you can go this way if you would like to. I haven't had too much luck actually going up this route here. I've had more luck going up these ramps. So typically, and it looks like there's nothing there yet, typically there's a blue chest in here. So I'd say like 8 times out of 10 there's one in there. So this time we just didn't get lucky. We'll head up through, go around all these guys because they're just a waste of time. Now, usually if there's not a blue chest in there, sometimes it's in here. Yep, there it is. So you kind of have to look. So these things, they do move. Now, granted, they're not going to move very far, right? They're mostly always in the same area, but they might not be in the exact same spot. So if you don't see that blue one down there, it's probably up here next to this commander. If it's not next to the commander, it's probably down there in that crate. So let's go ahead, we'll grab this, and then we'll continue onward. So again, just kind of check your surroundings. And the thing is, with these maps and these farming routes, they're not an exact science. So if you see a chest that's off the beaten path, don't feel like you can't go grab it. Go grab it because, hey, that experience is going to help, and then you can jump back onto the path. So these things are extremely flexible. So just like my farming routes I did back in New World, same thing happens here. So you're going to see stuff that's kind of off the beaten path, and you want to make sure you don't miss it. So let's take out, well, I don't know why I just hit that. Complete waste. That's okay though. We're not pro gamers around here. We're just casual folk. So let's go ahead and open this, and then we'll jump down. And you would think that these big steel spines, these treasure guards, actually give you a decent chunk of experience, but they only give you 700, which is a little surprising, but it is what it is. If you go into like Navia, which I have another farming route that I'm going to do out in Navia, but if you go out there, the Harlequins actually give you like 1400 experience, which is crazy to think about. So they are definitely worth doing. All right. Is that named mob gone? I think he is. So the password chests and these green chests, no, he's right here. They actually give you the same amount of experience, which I think is interesting. So before, I was always under the impression that password chests were more valuable in terms of experience, but truly they're not. Not unless you use a perfect cipher. So if you perfect cipher them, then you're going to get like 7,000 or 8,000 experience, kind of the same as a supply pod. But if you don't, then they're essentially just green chests. All right, sometimes there's a chest down there. Looks like nothing. So, and as you go through this and you kind of figure out the route and you go through it multiple times, you're going to start to see where the chests typically spawn or around where they typically spawn. And you'll be able to quickly look to see, okay, nope, the chest isn't here. So that means it's there, that type of stuff. So as you familiarize yourself with it, it'll become a little bit easier for you. So the first time you go through it, it might be a little bit slower, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to feel like you have to blast through it and be, you know, like warp speed, right? It's not a race. You're here just to get as much experience as you can, not necessarily break any land speed records. So you can see we went over and grabbed this chest. This isn't on my path, but it looks like there's another one over here too that we can go take advantage of. So let's grab this. We'll force decipher that one, and we'll continue onward. So we got our 2 here. Now, typically there's a couple down here as well. Yep, there's one there. And I got really lucky last time. There was actually like 3 green chests kind of all put together right over here. So we'll go check that out to see if that's there. So you can see we're kind of off the beaten path a little bit. We're supposed to go this way. We cleared out here and there wasn't really anything. So we went this direction and now we're grabbing some chests. So yeah, there should be one up here. All right, if it's not up here, then it's up there. So we'll get back onto our route here and we'll keep moving onward. Now, sometimes those blue password chests are hidden, obviously you can see in bushes, but other times they're partially submerged in the water. So you have to make sure that you're not missing those because they do blend in a little bit. All right, so because that one was in that bush there, it's either in the bush or it's on top of that next to the hyena there. So we'll go ahead and jump across the water and we'll keep moving. So now that we've crossed the river, we need to start looping up. And this is a really good area as well because there's quite a few chests that are typically, I'm not gonna say hidden because they're not really hidden, but they're kind of tucked away in these little bushes here. So let's go ahead and grab these. Perfect. There might be another one over here. At least a green chest. Nope, nothing. All right, so in this case, we want to go ahead and head up this hill. And oftentimes I try to look and see if there is a chest behind this. If there is, most of the time it's a purple chest. So there's not. So yeah, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. One right here. Now this chest here is either going to spawn up next to, it's either going to spawn in here, or it's going to spawn up near this big guy up here. So it's typically the two places that you'll find it. Again, I try to clear these guys out just because they're easy kills, especially in Astra. They give you 700 experience, which I know isn't like the greatest thing ever, but it does add up, especially, you know, now when we truly need a lot of that experience. So if there's no green chest right here, there it is. If there's no green chest up here, it's usually down here next to this tree. So it's usually in those two spots. So we'll go this way. Shroom Men, do not waste your time with them. They don't give any more experience than a regular 175 experience enemy, which is super depressing actually. Makes me really sad because I figured, I was like, okay, well, they're like elites, you know, they're a unique-ish enemy. So I figured they'd give at least 350. Nope, they just give 175. Very, very sad. Anyway, so we'll kill this guy. If I have to kill that guy, I usually come in here and I'll try to clean up this treasure guard if I don't get just completely melee-rocked by him. So let's go and do this. Let's break that shield. You might have noticed from my previous builds, I switched from King to Meryl. And I plan on talking about this a little bit more, but I've been having better shatter with Meryl ever since I've gotten her to 3-star. So before, up until 3-star, King seemed to be better at shattering. But once I got her to a 3-star, I'm not entirely sure why, because looking at the stats and everything like that, she should be less. But I think what it is it's more of a per hit, she deals out more shatter damage. Now she's slower, right, unless you whirlwind, but per hit, she deals out more shatter damage than King. Now King attacks faster, but the problem is you have to chain together all of his attacks. And when you do that, yeah, you'll get more shatter, I think, like in totality. But if you can't chain together everything, then I think Meryl is going to be a better choice, at least for right now. So anyway, let's go ahead and head over here. There's my dream machine from like 2 days ago that I just haven't done yet. We'll take care of this guy. I think I'll just hang on really quick. All right, go ahead and pop that before it disappears. Also, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys have that hologram, this little projection deal here, I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, this little thing, this hologram projector, absolutely insanity. So I started using that in like Void Rifts, basically team content, group content, and it's been fantastic. I originally avoided it because I didn't feel like it was worth the slot, but now that I've actually got to use it and see how well it performs, my gosh, it is unreal. Like, thing dishes out some serious damage because basically it creates a clone of you, and then whatever you do, right, your clone does. It'll do like 35% of whatever damage you're doing. So it's not exactly intense, but still. So here's a great example. Okay, so we can see a blue password chest up here. I'm not gonna go over there and grab that. I know that it's there. I can put that, you know, kind of lock that in my mind and come back and grab it later if I wanna stay on the same path. But if you wanna go grab that, great example. Go grab it and then come back. So it's totally possible. You don't feel like you're restricted and you have to stick to the route completely. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump up here. Oh gosh, jump up here. So we got our green chest, and then we should be, yeah, so here's this boar head. We want to jump into this range here from this camp and start working our way back towards the rusty belt. I said I wasn't going to do a 25-minute video, but I think I will. I'll just go through the full route for you guys. That way you can see exactly how this whole thing plays out. So let's go ahead and take care of these guys. Obviously, we got some great resistances. Okay, there we go. So that's one thing about Meryl's skill that has just like, I've had to get used to it, is the fact that when you use that ice ring, it'll push enemies up, right? And they'll stand on top of it, especially if they're right on the edge. And it's kind of rough, especially if you're trying to use like skills and things like that, because they'll be above the skill and you won't hit them. So just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and force decipher this, and let's continue our march onwards. Now, sometimes there is a green chest up here, so if you see it up there, go grab it. Same thing down here. Like if you want to go down there and grab, there's usually like a blue chest on top of one of these. If you want to go grab that, go for it. There's also a teleporter down there, so if you want to teleport and grab it, it's your call. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop up here. We'll mount up and we'll go check these bushes. Nothing. Now, I usually like to go through and clear these even if there's no chest, because I feel like, me personally, it is worth getting this experience. I mean, you're looking at, this is 700, so you're looking at 1400 experience just by itself, and then whatever you get from the chest, if there is one, or all of the little enemies, they kind of add up as well. So we'll go ahead and take out this commander. Sorry about all my clicking, guys, if you can hear that. I'm an absolute clicker. All right, so got that. There's a green chest over here, as we can see. So we'll go grab this. Now, there's quite a few different farming spots in the game itself, so it's not like, you know, this is the end-all be-all farming spot. This is just one that I really like because, one, it gets me back into, you know, a zone that I'm not spending a ton of time in. But two, there's typically not a lot of people here, which is super nice. That way you're not running into folks, you're not doing all that stuff. You can just kind of chill and do your own thing, which is great. So it's pretty nice. And honestly, I should have said this at the beginning, but it kind of goes without saying. Make sure to choose a channel that you don't think people are going to be on, like a lot of people, because if you don't, this route is definitely going to suffer. So I've noticed that up in like the hundreds, or like these kind of like weird channels. So for instance, we have like 114, right? So try to avoid rounded numbers, you know, like 110, 115. People are going to punch those in like just without even thinking about it. Oh, I need to go to a different channel. Okay, I'm going to go to 80. I'm going to go to 90. I'm going to go to, you know, 110. Like, they're going to pick those type of numbers. Typically, people don't go, oh, I'm going to go to 114. That sounds really good. 114, my favorite number. That's just not usually how that whole thing works. All right, so let's jump down here. Typically, we have some green chests. So let's see if we got lucky. No. Oh, there's one. There's a Stargate. I'll have to come back and check that out later. And by the way, if you don't have the cybernetic arm, fantastic relic. Highly recommended getting that. It's an SR, so it's not too difficult to get. If you have some of your SR like relic boxes, then you can use that on the cybernetic arm. You also get a bunch of shards from the dungeons and ruins and all that fun stuff. So you can go do that as well. But let's go back over here. So one of the things we definitely don't want to miss is right up here. We kind of hop off this. Yep, there it is. There's usually a blue chest over here. So I've ran this route. I mean, let's see. The past 2 days, I've ran it probably 10 times, and there's almost one right there every time. That sounds very confusing. There's almost one there every single time. Nothing over there. So then you can come down here. So there's that wraith. Sometimes there's one down there. I don't like to go down there if I don't need to. You can kind of work your camera a little bit so you don't have to waste time by jumping down there and then burning a cybernetic arm or a jetpack charge. So there we go. Now I always go around this way. I feel like if they put an extra one here, it's going to be there. I don't know why. I just kind of got that feeling, but there usually is one right up here in one of these bushes. There's usually two. That's another thing. This route has some great honey. So if you're low on honey, you can come in and get some really good honey on this thing too, because there's quite a few beehives that you walk by. This Adlock guy right here, he drops, I think about 1,700 experience. Yeah, 1,750, which is strange. Not entirely sure. I haven't ran into any quests with him yet, so maybe he has something going on in the future. Not entirely sure. But yeah, so here's these beehives. But anyway, you can see if you wanted to come kill this dude again, I forget his name, Deacon, then you can. Get another 700 experience because he respawned. And from here, we're going to go this way. So you probably wonder where we are. So we're up here. We need to go look at this camp. So you can see the hog head here. We're going to go clear these two camps. We're going to clear the Omnium Tower. And then we're going to head this direction to go back to where we started at that Mega Arena beacon. So you can see a blue password chest down here. You can see a green chest up here. We'll grab the green one first, and then we'll go grab that blue password chest. Oh, there's another green chest right there. Change of plans. We'll go drop down directly on top of this. Now this camp over here is pretty good. It typically has a blue password chest, but you also have this treasure guard, and then you also have a named enemy that is actually the bounty today too. So if you're kind of into that, then you can clear him out. Now I think what I'm going to do is we'll take care of this Razor Elite. He's going to be a 350. We have this steel guard here, or treasure guard here. Make sure I don't just walk right into that. Let's go ahead and bust his shield. Don't mind the wind zip advertisement. Not paying for it, just the way it goes. All right, we'll take care of Varm. There we go. For a cool 350. Oh, you also can search these containers here. That's cool. I didn't notice that last time. So it looks like you can also get some machine parts. Let's see, what do we get? Nothing. So fun fact, those machine parts, I get a lot of people that, you know, comment on the video where I talk about the vehicle parts, and they're like, Vulkan, you have to click on the part. Like, you're leaving all of it behind. You don't have anything. And that's a great call out, because that's a good topic of conversation. Those actually get mailed to you. So you don't have to click on them. You can, obviously, if you would like, but you don't have to click on them if you don't want to. Like, truly, you don't. Oops. They'll all get mailed to you. It'll say, hey, here's some forgotten items or whatever. And then you can, you know, move on with your day. Okay, so there's almost always a blue password chest down here next to this Hyena Elite. So you're going to get 350 experience plus the experience from this chest. Usually there's a handful of Hyena around him, so maybe they just haven't respawned yet. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, no, they're just chilling by the beach. Just letting Boss Man take the heat for like 2 seconds. Good for them. Good for them. Okay, so we want to go ahead and let's see if we can't get our spider web going here. Oh shit. Oh no, I got it. All right, cool. So let's jump up here. Great. Now there's usually a green chest over here, right? So we got one on top over here recently, but there's usually one right here, there's one right here, or there's one right here. So if it's not in one location, check the other ones, because it should always be there. Okay, so now we're at this big camp. Now this is a great camp to clear out. You do have quite a few elite enemies. We can see there's a purple chest up there as well. So we'll go ahead and take care of this headhunter elite. He's gonna give us 350. I'm gonna get blown out of the sky. And then, let's see if we can't, nope, missed that discharge. Love that for me. So let's go ahead and break this dude's shield. So we can kill Wickeds, and then we'll be able to kill that treasure guard, which we're slamming with our skill because the range is unreal on that. Let's see if we can't. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Meryl seems to do more shatter per swing than King, but King will break shields faster if you can attack uninterrupted. It's kind of what I'm pulling from those two. All right, so let's go ahead and pop up here really quick to get this purple. And then we also have, I think his name's Unmasked, like something the Unmasked. He's at the beginning of this camp too. So we'll go ahead, we'll grab this, go this way. Now most of the time there's another one here too. Yep, there it is. Looks like it's on top of that thing out there. Unless my eyes are deceiving me, which definitely is possible. And they were. Yeah. Beauty and the Unmasked. So we'll go ahead, we'll knock this guy out. But yeah, so once we clear this guy, we'll go check out the Omnium Tower. And then at that point, we'll be on our final run, our home stretch to finish this thing out. So here's another Razor Elite. So again, these guys, you know, they give you 350, which is worth stopping for, especially if you're already here. They die easy enough, you know, it's not like you have to spend a lot of time. So the value per second, I'll say, is there. So let's go ahead and let's check up here really quick, because sometimes it's tucked around over there. So we only got one, which is a little uncommon. Not crazy, but it is just a little uncommon for us to only have one. There's a green chest. I've gotten really bad lately about using my skills accidentally, like second nature. Like I'll see like an enemy and I just smash my skill. Don't care if it's a water core, don't care if it's just like a hog, like they're getting completely obliterated. No mercy. It's just the way it is. They just have to accept their fate. All right, so we got a green chest here. So you can see here we are around the Omnium Tower. We'll go loop back around here and we'll pick up what we can between here and the arena. So there's usually, there it is, a blue password chest around here. If it's here, so there's a green chest there too. So if it's here, it's either going to be here or it's going to be over in this like ruined, I'll show you guys, this thing over there. Now I haven't seen them both in there. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just, maybe they share a cooldown. Maybe it's something different, but that's just something to keep an eye out for too. Now, let's go ahead and keep moving. We'll go check over there just in case. Rather be safe than sorry. Nope, it is in there. Check that out. So, hit that arm, get in there, grab this. And let's see, is there one over here? No, this one's been the most inconsistent. Well, I shouldn't say the most. This one's been one of the most inconsistent spots. Like, it's like feast or famine. You either have something or you don't. So, if nothing, I'll just go ahead and clean up these two guys for an extra 700 experience. Otherwise, I'll just skip. So, let's go over here. There's one there. Oh, there's two. So this has been a pretty decent run so far. So we'll go ahead and we have 2 more spots to check before we hit the Mega Arena Beach. And then we'll circle back around to the teleporter and we'll talk about the amount of experience that we got. There's another chest. Now there probably is some around the Mega Arena too. If you want to do like a quick loop around the outside, you could probably get something good. Otherwise, you can just skip it. But my luck's been pretty good with one down here. Let's see if that holds up. Of course, when you guys are here, it probably won't spawn. Sick, nothing, cool. Make a liar out of me. That's fair. I get it. You know, can't be a winner all the time. All right. Again, down here, this area, sometimes there's a purple one, other times there's nothing. So it's very, very feast or famine. So we'll skip that. And you can see I'm kind of going a little sporadic here at the end, but typically I would just drop down, and I like to check this one to see if there's anything. There is not. So you can clear those folks if you want to. Otherwise, I'm gonna go this direction and we will wrap this thing up. So any that we can spot, yep, there's a green chest right there. So we are definitely gonna go grab that. There we go. And if you wanted, you could go back and you could clear Astra shelter too. Remember we saw that blue password chest up there. Otherwise, let's head on back. Vehicles in this game are a little like sketch because you like touch anything that isn't like an interactive element, like running through this bush. If you hit like this rock, you're like stuck on the rock. It's pretty great. Compelling gameplay. Okay, so let's look at where we ended up. So when I started this run, I was at 356,255k experience. I ended at 502,752, and it's taken us about 27 minutes. So a little bit longer than my typical runs, mostly because I was narrating for y'all, but you can get this thing down pretty quick. And like I said, when I ran it, just kind of speeding through it, I was able to get between 20 and 25 minutes. So this is a great run. I mean, you're looking at, what is that? Let's add it up. Let's figure out exactly how much this is. Let's get our handy dandy calculator out. And let's add this thing up. So we're looking at 502,752 minus 356, 255. So 146,500 essentially. So like I said, your mileage may vary. You know, last time 174,500. This time around we got 150,000 basically. So there's quite a bit out there. But anyway, I hope this has helped you guys because like I said, we're kind of entering the doldrums of XP. And because of that, we need to find all of these different sources that we can actually use and consistently use to keep leveling up. Because you can see here, level 52, 54 is the cap today. So I'm going to go through and do all of my XP sources and hopefully get to 54. But I have a long way to go. And I feel like I play a little bit more than some other folks out there. So as we kind of enter this sort of extended stretch of leveling, a couple things. One, remember that there are people that are going to be playing this game full time. They're going to be people that play this, and that's all they do, right? They're fortunate enough to be able to do something they love all day. So don't compare yourself to them, right? Play at your own pace, work at your own pace, because it's going to help you mentally in the long run. If you kind of stress out about where everybody else is and feel like you're getting left behind, then you're not going to be having as much fun, and you're not going to focus on having fun. Instead, you're going to focus on being left behind. Number two, when 2.0 comes out, I'm sure we're going to be beyond the level cap for that. And what I mean by that is, unless you're new and you're starting the game, I don't think, and I haven't confirmed this is just me going off of assumption, I don't think you're going to have to be level 70 or, full on capped in order to go on to the 2.0 world. I feel like you'll be able to still experience it. It'll have scaling just like we see here in the first world we're on. So don't feel like you have to kind of blast through and speed up and not have a good time and stress out about making sure that you're ready for your 2.0. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And the other thing is, again, there's a server multiplier that'll also take place. So, you know, tomorrow, if you're not 54, then a server multiplier will be there to help you out. So you'll get even more bang for your buck on this chest farming route. So anyway, guys, this was a longer video, but you know, when I first started it, I was like, I don't know if I want to show the entire route. I'll show a map because I don't want to, you know, waste people's time. But then as we got into it, I was like, you know what? Who cares? If you guys want to see the entire route, here's the entire route. If you guys want to see how I run it, there you go. If you want to leave early, you can. The map is already in the description below, so you can go check that out. I do have a couple other farming spots that I'll share with you guys later on. But for now, this one has been really good, giving me a lot of bang for my buck, and I hope this helps you guys out. As always, if you like Tower Fantasy content, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps me a ton. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. As always, thank you so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.